7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
We're back, brothers and sisters. You're listening to the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally, coming to you live on WLIB 1190 AM, and we are here live in the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street. Call somebody, tell them the action is on the air. The Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton is in the house. I'd like you to get on your feet right now for the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. No justice,
no peace.
No justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice.
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
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 Hug the person next to you, tell them you love them. National Action Network Change Choir, give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. Certainly we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning. For you that are here in the auditorium at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB AM in New York, we are happy to be with you another Saturday morning where the action is. Give a hand to our presiding attorney, Michael Hardy, our regional director of the Northeast NAN, Minister Kirsten John Ford. And we will be live on Impact Television in 8 minutes. We're dedicating this broadcast to the legacy and celebratory life of our first chairman of the board, the late, great Wyatt T. Walker. And I have a lot more I'm going to say about him, but I want to wait till we're on national television because it's a national gospel station, and he was a giant in that field. Let me say, as we get ready, though, get ready for my whole message today,
I want to say that in our local New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut area, we are gearing up now at the end of our January drive for membership. We've asked people in this year, it's not enough to complain about Trump. We have to do some work. And even if you are not out there at the rallies or at the meetings, the least you can do is be a member and support of an organization that is. Some folk don't do nothing but yell at the radio and TV. I have a radio show that I do every day. Television show I do at least once a week, my own show, and on other shows through the week. And I can tell you that don't nobody know what you yelling at them when they're in the studio on radio and TV. We'll hear none of that. You got to be involved and you got to support those involved. So you that are listening on LIB, if you have not joined National Action Network in 2018, don't tell me you joined 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago. If you've not got a 2018 membership, call right now 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651, or go online to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, nationalactionnetwork.net, and join, be a part. All of you that have joined, all of you that have been members, you need to ask people when you see them, let me see your membership card. I'm with where I'm at. Well, let me see your membership card. And I want everybody up to date because we have serious battles that we need to be geared up for this year. I was in a meeting on yesterday. Governor David Patterson and former State Controller Carl McCall and others, Attorney Hardy and I thought about how many of the groups that we have seen down through the years are gone. And many of our great grassroots activists gone. That's one of the reasons we are working so diligently to have a civil rights museum, because we need to have a place that our children can see displays and research on what happened in our community. Most of our kids don't even know who Jesse Gray was in the rent strikes and what a lot of these things are. But I thank God that we are in March 26 years old, and for 26 years we met every Saturday, never missed one. So folk didn't have to guess where we are, they knew where we were. Been on the air every Saturday morning, informing the community, fought every issue. There is a difference. Y'all know I work out every morning before dawn. There's a difference between training to be a sprinter and training to be a marathon runner. Sprinter just go run 50 yards, and that's good. But a marathon runner got to train for the long haul. And everybody you see sprinting, they got the Grammys in town. A lot of artists you see go across that stage, you're not going to see again till you see them on Unsung on TV1. I've been on everything from 60 Minutes to Meet the Press to Soul Train. But I try my best never to get on Unsung. That's one show I don't want to make. But a lot of them will be up there skinning and grinning tomorrow night. You will see them on Unsung. About 10 years talking about, well, you wouldn't know what happened was. And I made them, just because somebody is hot for a minute, that does not mean they're going to last. Now, the way you last is, one, it's got to be about more than you. And two, you got to deal with an eternal message that is not about you. Some folks, you can't talk to them with everything that says, I, me. Did you know what I did and me. And it never shifts. If you are not able to think beyond the frame of your body, then you will not last. So I want us to really support and know that this is something that you ought to be a member of, because we're going to be here as long as Injustice is here. And even then, we're going to build a museum where we're going to record what the battles of injustice has been down through our community from the days of Reconstruction to now. Reason why you don't have the real story is because we let other folk tell the story. If you allowed the cowboys to tell the story, the Indians was wrong. Don't read the Cowboys volume on the Indians. Don't read the segregationist story about Jim Crow. Who tells the story controls the narrative. And we keep letting the wrong folk tell our story. Let me congratulate Jamie Bland, who was inaugurated, I understand, sworn in yesterday. Jamie Bland for Deputy Mayor Patterson, New Jersey. Give her a big hand. And I think that Jamie's been our head of our chapter in Jersey, in Patterson. And I wanted to congratulate her. I also want to congratulate you. We had a very successful packed house Thursday night for legal night. First legal night since the holiday. And it was successful. You that came out for legal night, give Attorney Hardy a hand. One of the things I want us to not be confused about is that a movement, a civil rights movement, has to deal multifaceted. So we do things, everything here from arts and culture to youth development to our technological labs, our tech lab in the back, and in our chapters around the country, to protests, to legal night. Got to deal with many areas because our people are multifaceted and our people have multiple problems. So when you become an active member, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And I think that we need to really be real clear that everybody has a role to play. Everybody don't need to be on stage, but everybody needs to be involved. And I think that all of us, you need to ask yourself, what is my level of involvement? Let's welcome people watching all over the world now on Impact Television. And again, we are driving for membership. You only have a few more days this month. I'm trying to do it 100,000 in January. And you that need prayer, the prayer lines are open, 1-877-626-4651. Or that want to support the movement, 1-877-626-4651. Or go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Dr. Wyatt T. Walker passed this week. Wyatt T. Walker was one of the largest and one of the tallest trees in our community. He started and ended as a trailblazer and a historic figure. I was honored that Dr. Walker was the first chairman of the board of this organization. And let me tell you something, Reverend Walker, he started in Virginia. Dr. King and him hooked up because of his activism in Virginia. He became the chief of staff and first executive director of Dr. King's organization. Wyatt T. Walker was the executive director of Dr. King's organization during the March on Washington, where they did the I Have a Dream speech. He was executive director during the Birmingham movement that led to the Civil Rights Act of '64. The famous picture of Dr. King in jail looking out in a pensive move outside the bars. All of us have seen that picture. Wyatt T. Walker took that picture because he was his cellmate. And the lawyer snuck the camera in the jail. And Dr. Walker took the picture from the back of the cell of Dr. King looking out. He wasn't visiting, he was in jail with Dr. King in Birmingham. He was executive director all the way through the Nobel Prize winning. Then he came to New York and became the assistant pastor to Adam Clayton Powell at Abyssinia. Then went on and was called to pastor Canaan Baptist Church and was installed in 1967 by Martin Luther King. The last time Martin Luther King was in Harlem in March of '67 was to install Wyatt T. Walker as the pastor of Canaan. 2 weeks later, he was killed in Memphis. That is who Wyatt T. Walker was. He built housing here. He was the one that fought and got the Harlem State Office building. There would not be a Harlem State Office building if it wasn't for Wyatt T. Walker. Wrote over 30 books. Was a musicologist. We used to call him the Harlem Renaissance man. So it was because of this tremendous rich history that when he agreed, when we were just 2 years old, and he came in and said, I'll chair the board and structure it. Now, let me tell you something. You would rather swim the Atlantic than to have to deal with Dr. Walker's reprimand. He was hard on everybody. Jay will tell you, he took no shorts. And the bigger you were, the harder he cracked you. But you do not have anyone that teaches you that are not hard on you. Some folks can't take hard teaching because a teacher is trying to mold and shape you, not trying to be your friend. Y'all like fans, not friends. A real friend will tell you when you're wrong. Real friend will correct you. A fan will go and co-sign everything you do and then go talk about you later. If you can't take correction, you will never be the best that you could be. And Dr. Walker said to me, he would always call me Mr. President. He said, I'm telling you, y'all are not organized. You have no structure. And he helped to structure NAM, structured the board, structured the staff. And it was an honor for me, even though it was, I used to see him number on the phone and wouldn't want to answer. Because I know, oh God, here comes something. But had he not done that, there would not be a National Action Network. And there would not be what we've been able to do. Because he was saying your movement has outgrown your structure. And you cannot run a fleeting thing if you're going to survive through where you're trying to go. He said, I used to try to tell Martin that. You ought to be honored I'm talking to you about it. And he was an on-hands chairman when we were at Madison Avenue before the fire. He did not make an appointment. He'd come up the stairs and walk in my office unannounced. Girl at the desk say, Dr. Walker, let me ring. I'm the chairman of the board. Just open the door. But he trained and molded. I don't care how big I got. If you're so big, the folk that mentored you can't talk to you. Something wrong with you, not them. Jesse called me now, 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't get too big for your teacher. I go see my junior high school teacher now. Because if folk taught you, they must have known something and seen something in you before you saw it in yourself. Hello. Now, when they had the first elections in South Africa, Dr. Walker was the head of the American election observers. And he brought me with him as an election observer to Johannesburg. I remember when we landed, a bomb went off in the airport in Johannesburg, because some of the Afrikaners, the white Afrikaners, did not want to see the elections. And Dr. Walker, the joke that the present chairman, who was vice chairman, Dr. Walker brought him into our movement, Reverend W. Franklin Richardson. Joke he always teased me about is it was about 23 ministers Dr. Walker took over as election observers. So I, was known, so I had gotten my ticket first class, going to Johannesburg, 17 hours. I got there and Dr. Walker was standing in the corridor there at Kennedy Airport. Mr. President, I've rearranged your seating, here's your ticket. I said, you did what? He said, I rearranged your seating. So I looked, I said, this is a coach ticket. Yes, you must ride in the back with the other preachers. I said, but Dr. Walker, that's 17 hours. You must ride with everybody else. And he put me in a center seat between two of the fattest preachers in the world. And for 17 hours, I'm crunched up in the middle of this seat. I got up, went to the bathroom. I got up and walked. Looked like that plane would never land. That's the last time I've been in coach in my life. But when we started to move against Diallo and started those 13 days where people were arrested, laying down in front of one police plaza, and former Mayor Dinkins went to jail, and Oscar winner Susan Sarandon and others, Wyatt T. Walker went the first day and helped to organize all of that, and he wrote a book about it, one of his books. I could go on and on and on, but we are eternally grateful that the first chairman of the board, as long as there's a National Action Network, there will be the life and legacy of Dr. Wyatt T. Walker. They will have a memorial service of family in Virginia, and then the Harlem service, the Harlem Memorial, will be March 3rd at Canaan Baptist Church at noon. We're gonna walk right, we coming right out the rally going there March 3rd. We have his son with us this morning, Wyatt T. Walker Jr. He is nicknamed Jay. But he told me in honor of his father, he now is going to call himself Wyatt. And while we're on national television, I just want him, on behalf of the family, to say hello to the audience. The son of Wyatt T. Walker, Wyatt T. Walker Jr.
Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you all. I'm just here briefly to thank you for the love you have sent to my mother and my family, and the blessings you have sent for my father. You know, he got seriously sick about a month ago. We thought we were going to lose him. Your prayers and the Lord spared him. My daughter and I sat with him through the night. He was strong. He went in peace. He wasn't in any pain. He was the brave lion that he always was. And I want to personally thank Reverend Sharpton, his daughters, Kathy Sharpton. He loved Miss Alice, their grandmother. So we just want to let you know that he always told me when I visited him in Virginia, let the National Action Network family know I love him and I miss him. God bless you all. Thank you.
Wyatt T. Walker Jr. Now, let me say that one of the challenges of Wyatt Walker is that he was a social justice, prophetic liberation preacher by choice. What do I mean by that? One of the critiques of the day, we're going to deal with this at the National Action Network Convention in a couple of workshops. One of the critiques is I hear black intellectuals talk about the weakness of the black church. There is a whole school of thought that says the black church has lost its power. Now, the reality is that the black neighborhood has lost its power. And the erosion of black neighborhoods is what has led to the erosion of attendance in the black church. So you walk around Harlem or Bed-Stuy or Southside Chicago or West LA and say the churches are not as full as they used to be because the neighborhoods have changed. Nothing happened to the church, something happened to the neighborhood, and we let it become gentrified in our silence. How you gonna move black folk out and expect the churches to continue to have folk come when they're no longer there? Why don't you watch this now? That's why Dr. Walker went into housing, because he saw this coming. And a lot of y'all didn't see nothing coming and have no plan and run around trying to gather folk that's left rather than ask how did they get us out in the first place. That's why I tell y'all, in between Moses and those that accommodated Pharaoh, there were those that blessed the shackles, and then there was Moses who broke the shackles. That's what a lot of our preachers do. They bless you in slavery. Give you some diamond-studded chains. And you think you doing better because you got polished chains on. You a slave. Walker was part of the political awakening of the black church in a social justice gospel. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York, to my point, Jay Wyatt, is that you had Gardner Taylor at Concord Baptist. You had Reverend William Jones at Bethany. You had Reverend Sandy Ray at Cornerstone. You had Bishop F.D. Washington at Washington Temple. And you had Bridge Street, AME, all in the same community and all packed. Every one of them packed. Now, look at what packed them. The neighborhood, whether it was the brownstones or the multi-dwellings, were black. You up Stuyvesant Avenue, soul food restaurant, McDonald's. I ain't talking about McAdee's where y'all go with Donald Trump. I'm talking about a black soul food restaurant. The neighborhood could support restaurants and could support major churches. Now that they have been gentrified and moved us out, if you look at the folk in the neighborhood, they're not folk that attend our churches. We used to be able to walk to the church because we lived in the neighborhood. Now they done fool you, gave you these bubble mortgages, got you out of Long Island and Jersey. You can't drive into church because they're landlocked and you don't have nowhere to park. And then they talk about the church is weak rather than that they flip the neighborhood on you. And many of our political folk did not fight the gentrification. Those that manage pension funds did not protect us from them using them to give developers money to push us out of our own neighborhood. We finance our own removal. So what they call gentrification is Negro removal. All over the country. I go to Atlanta, they're moving you out. Chicago, moving you out. And as they move you out, your institutions become weakened. They leveled the housing projects in Chicago. One, because it also breaks up a block of black votes. So they can gerrymander, they can dilute your power. And it's done in broad daylight and you don't even understand what you're looking at. And then you get these intellectuals, the death of the black church. Well, why don't you talk about the death of the black neighborhood and the death of black intelligentsia? Oh, I'm going to have a mean convention up here in April. Because we're going to talk about that. How did we go? Let me get this right now. We got some that was here back in the day. How did we go from the black intellectuals in the late 60s and 70s when I grew up, who were debating whether it was nonviolent resistance or self-defense, whether it was where Malcolm talked about self-defense or Martin, that was the debate. Whether it was Franz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth, or some level of warfare, or whether it was the love ethic. That was the debate. Now y'all debating about each other. I mean, how do we get here? Ain't no intellectual debate. Y'all talk about each other. Do you like Cornel West or Ta-Nehisi Coates? So what? I mean, the intellectual debate don't come down to nothing. You got a bunch of black intellectuals, all that went to Ivy League white schools interpreting black thought. Trained in white thought. Discussing black churches you ain't never attended. Critiquing movements you were never part of. It is the dumbing down of black America. They'll know your culture because they appoint people over your culture. Black culture was about excellence. Now they reduce it to debauchery. Black culture was to exalt us and inspire us with song and dance to show no matter what our conditions, we could perform excellently. Now they got you acting as low down as you can. I told the other day, and I'll repeat it. How can a record executive go in his office and if he used the N word, H word, or B word in the office, he'd be fired now. And he should be. I'm all with that, me too. But then in the same record company, the artist can go in the studio and use the N word, H word, B word, and get a hit record. How do you get fired for what we sell and commercialize? If I had one of those examples, first thing I say is, well, wait a minute. If I can't say it in the office, then you can't say it to my people. When we started with the NAACP and others, bury the N-word, they assigned artists to attack us. Assigned them. Now those same artists calling us, saying they're trying to dig up some mess on me. Because you become a result of the debauchery that you internalize. That a man sows, that shall he reap. Y'all know my mama grew up in Alabama. I'm from up north in Brooklyn. But I know one thing about farming. You can't plant watermelon seeds and get cantaloupe. What you sow, you gonna reap. And we've sown the breakdown and the dumbing down and the low values of our community. And we've scorned the values our grandmamas and mamas gave us, and now you in disarray where you brag about you don't talk to the elders. You got here last and know everything. I was out with a preacher the other night. I said, well, have you talked to your pastor you grew up in? No, I talked to him old school, you know, it's a new thing. I said, but didn't he let you preach when nobody thought you knew what you was talking about? He had enough sense then. Didn't he put you on a platform when everybody said you should have been on the platform? He had enough sense then. But now you got your back straight and your gut feel he ain't smart enough for you. But you'll be back down there needing him before he'll need you. Because God is not mocked. That a man sow, he shall also reap. It ain't many Saturdays. And many times I preach, I don't mention Jesse Jackson and Bill Jones and Bishop Washington and Wyatt Walker. Because they did not have to invest in me. Didn't nobody owe you nothing. If somebody invested in you, the only return they're going to get is your respect. And if you're too low down to get that, wherever you are, you're going to fall. Everywhere in the Bible, they went to the elders. Africa, they go to the elders. But you hang out with other folk that got you against your own culture. It's against your culture. These entitled little kids, they glorify in fighting their parents. You ain't come out no entitled community. I told my daddy so-and-so, and I'm just so-and-so. Yeah, because you got you a trust fund. We had no funds. We had to trust in the Lord. You're a spoiled kid. We're struggling people. But some of us forgot what we struggled for and where we got to and why we got where we got. And the result are, in a time of gentrification, in a time of Negro removal, you end up with a real estate man who first time he was in the New York Times with him and his daddy was being sued for housing discrimination. He's the president of the United States. And he gonna finish the removal if you ain't careful. Oh, Grandma Al's just being extreme. Paper today, Ben Carson. Secretary Hood said they want to take urban, the name urban out of Hood.
Yes, they did.
Hello. They want to change the name from urban because you're dealing with a removal agenda. If they can break down and complete the breakdown of our community, it breaks down our political power because we don't vote as a block. It breaks down our ability to have businesses because you will not have an environment that will support you. It'll break down black churches. They are getting ready to disseminate you and spread you everywhere where you are powerless. And then those of us that will speak for you, they call us the names. Remember, you an opportunist? Absolutely. I got a degree in opportunism signed by Wyatt T. Walker and Jesse Jackson. I take every opportunity I can to fight for justice. I got a degree in opportunism, trained by opportunists. We take advantage of every opportunity to pull the veil off. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You a media hound. Yes, sir. I try to get on every camera, every mic I can and let them know what y'all doing to me. I'll get on a 7-year-old's Instagram if he can hold it up. I ain't trying to keep no secret what you do to me. I want the world to know. Go through 20, 42 years of slavery. Go through 100 years of Jim Crow. Go through not being able to drink at a water fountain. Go through my mama growing up in the back of a bus. Had to pick cotton and couldn't get an education. Couldn't help me with my homework, and we built our way up, and you want me to be quiet about it? Well, you gotta let that go. No, it is a sense of why I do what I do. I ain't gonna let it go. It drives me to finish the journey and glorify God that brought me this far. Don't let go what God did for you. Don't let go the trials and tribulations that you've come through. Don't let go and forget the mountains that you climbed. Whatever mountain that you faced, God either moved your mountains or gave you the strength to climb. I ain't gonna let that go. I'm gonna tell everybody. Telling you they are engaging in social engineering and the breaking down of our communities. Because to break them down is to break down our institutions. And if you have no institutions, you have no structures to survive. And what the results are is you become dependent on others, which is another form of slavery in and of itself. Once your independence, that's what Operation Breadbasket was about, that Dr. King started, where I grew up. Once you lose the power of economic and institutional, be it church or education institutions, you therefore become dependent. The flip side of independence is dependence. Then they got to break down, because somebody wrote and told them that by 2040 that this will be a majority nation of people in color. Is that what they said? Yes, sir. So when you see all of this immigration stuff, and you run around talking about, oh, I agree with Trump on that, they taking our jobs. It is a scheme to try and whitenize America. That's all it is. They ain't talking about nobody else other than blacks and browns. That's why he called African countries and Haiti and El Salvador S-hole countries. But why don't they bring people from Norway when you have more trade in the sub-Saharan Africa than in Norway? It is a racial policy. And they got some of y'all going black against brown where they're taking our jobs. Taking what job? Last time we had black full employment is in slavery, and we didn't get paid. We've been doubly unemployed to whites since slavery, before any Mexican came across the border. Quit playing with yourself. problem is not each other. Our problem is those that manipulate us, including poor whites. Dr. King died trying to unite poor whites and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and blacks, trying to do a poor people's campaign. That's why he came and talked about it when he installed his father in his last trip to Harlem. But you too new and cool to read what Dr. King said. You two on the whatever, Reverend. That preacher got me hot the other night. I hope you're watching. You in the new school that ain't got one thought in the building. Got pastor studies with no books. Ain't studying nothing. It's a makeup room. Go in there and get your robe and your dress together, your suit together, to go out on stage and say nothing. Your people being removed. Your children locked in jails and unfair sentences. People in your congregation giving unfair mortgages. What are you preaching about? Don't play with God's people. Lead them or shut up and let some folk come that will. Well, Jesus put it this way. Said, Lord, I did all this. I did the work. Come in your kingdom. He said, yes, but I was hungry. And you didn't feed me. Yeah, you went to all the little prayer meetings, but I was naked. And you didn't clothe me. I was outdoors. You didn't take me in. When you've done this to the least of them, you've done it unto me. That's the book. Preach the book, right? How you gonna, these evangelical preachers, how you gonna preach Jesus and talk about Trump is right on DACA? That yet we need to send folk out. Well, first of all, the DACA program are for people that were brought here under 16 years old, under no decision of their own, with their parents, and grew up here, went to school here, went to the military here. You're going to send them back a place they don't know nothing about, from a country that they helped build, pay taxes for, and work, in the name of they taking something from you never had. Hello. And then you're going to get up, Reverend Evangelical, after preaching against those that came here and brought their children here for help. Then you're going to get them preach the Good Samaritan. Why don't you read the Good Samaritan? Said that the man had been robbed and battered, laying by the side of the road. One man came by of his same religion, looked down at him. One man saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, running in his feet, speaking to all of that. But he walked by the man laying by the road. Another man came with means, could have helped him. Walked by. You'd have been sitting up there talking about bad neighborhood. Got to do something about crime. That's why we need police. But then Jesus said, this Jesus parable, said another man came by of a different race. Didn't have the same religious beliefs. And he looked down and he picked him up. And he took care of him and went and paid for him to stay somewhere. Jesus called him the Good Samaritan. You don't believe in Jesus. You use Jesus to cover your own wicked ways. You can't believe in Jesus and don't believe in helping folk. And helping folk that may not be like you, but are in need. And when you don't help folk, it don't say anything about them. It says something about you. Well, Reverend Al, people get on me. They had a special on this week on TV One about the Eric Garner case. And some folk, that's why Ashley Dominique tried to stop me from reading my tweets and stuff. Folks are tweeting me, well, why would you fight for a guy in the street selling Lucy cigarettes? Like somebody got to qualify to be a victim. I don't care what he was doing, you ain't got the right to choke him to death. You don't fight for proper victims. You got to have special people to be victims. Got to have the background you like and the pinky up and the proper. Well, Reverend, I don't deal with all kinds. You are all kinds. We dig in your nasty background and tell everybody who you really are. If God can forgive you, how you gonna judge somebody else? You might have sinned down south and then moved up north and tried to act like you somebody else, but you the same person. And God forgave you. So you ought to stand for somebody else. Monique called me this week about they were giving her a different financial deal at Netflix. And I put out on Twitter that y'all leave Monique alone, talk about she too ghetto, she too hood. The issue is what we need to raise. I don't care what she is. She got an Oscar, she got an Academy Award. And if she has commercial value, she should be paid like any other man. If you don't like her behavior, don't watch the show. But that ain't the issue. The issue is equal pay for women and men. Well, Reverend, I just think they ought to act more proper. Proper like who? Madonna? I mean, tell me what's proper. We must return to the roots of who we are and fight the fight based on who and what we are and what the fight has been about, and stop letting people reinterpret us to divert and distract us from what we're supposed to be. That's what this is about. That's what Wyatt T. Walker taught us. An authentic calling rather than a commercial venture. You've commercialized the pulpit and bought you. But you won't last. Because everything that is not built on an eternal word will pass in a contemporary setting. That's why those, I love that sermon. One of them, Dr. Walker, used to talk about the power of decision. You got to decide at some point in your life what you stand for and who you stand with. Everybody can't stand with you if you stand for something. I was growing up, most folk in Brooklyn would not stand with the King movement. They were with other movements, thought we was whatever. But I stood anyhow. Church I was going to was not political. My pastor, Bishop Washington, understood. A lot of folks told me, oh, he done backslid. He out there in the world. But I had to get their kids jobs after a while. Because I stood for something. Somewhere I read that if men hate you, remember they hated me. But he went to the cross to show that you can conquer the crucifixion. If you are afraid of the crucifixion, you'll never make the resurrection. You can't get to your crown without your cross. You're trying to be popular rather than prophetic. And let me say this and I'll let you go. There is this whole thing, as I said, about those that tweeted me about Gardner and those that tweeted me about Monique, that you forget that life is an evolving situation. The only thing that don't grow is something that's dead. So whatever you see at one stage is not where they're going to be at another stage. And you cannot be afraid to let God grow you. And you cannot be ashamed of where he grew you from. Well, I knew you when. Yeah, you did. And look at what God did for me now. Throughout the Bible, God changed people. He changed the name, Abram to Abraham, Saul to Paul. He changes people. So you might have come up a rough way, but that don't mean that God can't smooth you out. Sometimes God needs ex-junkies to tell other folk how to get clean. Sometimes God needs ex-crooks to tell other people you ain't got to go that way. Don't stop me where you want in my life because I'm not finished yet. Be patient with me. God ain't through with me yet. And it ain't no new Al Sharpton, it's the evolution of the old Al Sharpton. Oh, I knew Al back when. He's changed. No, I grew. I'm the same Al Sharpton. I'm just grown up. I knew you when you was big and fat. I always knew there was a fine, slim me down there. I just had to carve and chisel till I got down to him. You and you. God gonna evolve you and grow you and make you to be who he brought you here to be. We come from a people that never stopped growing. Even in the bits of slavery, they would sing, there's a bright side somewhere. Ain't gonna rest till I find it. I'm not satisfied, Mr. Trump. I know you in charge, but you won't be in charge forever. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe he broke the shackles of slavery. I don't believe he brought me from the back of the bus. I don't believe he brought me from no vote to Barack Obama in the White House. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me now. I won't stop. I won't back up. I won't back down. God is. God will. God does. I'm a living witness. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. Sing it like you mean. event this month as we sign up 100,000 new members. If you are in the auditorium and never joined National Action Network, hear us on the radio, see us on television, but never became a member, couldn't be a better Saturday than the last Saturday of January and our 100,000 member drive for you to come. Just walk down either aisle to me and join. You that are listening on radio, you can call and go to 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651, or go online to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. If you're here today and want to join, come on down, come on right now. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Singing like you mean it. Singing like you mean it. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. One last time, y'all. One last time, y'all. One last time, y'all. Yeah. All right. Moving quickly. All right, brother, come to join. Come on. I ain't closing the door without you. All right. Thank you. Bring them on, sign them up. All right. I'm going to raise our offering. Moving quickly. I want everybody to give to the best of their ability. We're moving quickly. Committees are meeting after. We're going to move quickly so they can go on their meetings. Next Saturday is the first Saturday of Black History Month. A lot of Black history teaching in my messages every week. It amazes me how many of us don't know particulars in our history. And I want us to be well versed, particularly in movement history. We're also going to start signing up people for the convention. I already have many of our people that play a major role. This is the 50th anniversary year of Dr. King being assassinated. So this organization built in the spirit of Dr. King, chaired by his executive director. It's a banner year for us, so our convention is going to be off the chain. Already, our chapters, we've had about 4 conference calls since King Day with our chapter leaders. and we are ready and getting coordinated. If you haven't signed up, you need to sign up, because we got some real firepower stuff we're going to be doing. It's April 18th through the 22nd at the Sheraton. And we want everybody to get up for the convention this year. I spent about an hour and a half. Some of y'all that follow me on social media know that I spent on Monday, I spoke at Ted's funeral at First Corinthian, who worked for many years with George Faison. And I knew well, and Oprah Winfrey and all of us spoke. And then I spent an hour and a half with Harry Belafonte, went to his house. And Harry and I talked about a lot. And he has some stuff that we're planning, he and I are gonna do together. And many of you know Harry was a big supporter of Dr. King. And we gave him the award last year at our dinner. And he called me about 3 weeks ago and kept saying, Ramel, I need to talk to you. Ramel, I need to talk to you. And I've been running. So I finally had made the appointment to see him Monday, and then Ted died. But I got out the funeral in time and went and spent an hour and a half with him, 91 years old. But if you look at the picture on social media, he's as buoyant and radiant and sharp-minded and clear. And he and I have a special project that we're going to unveil in about a few weeks. But a lot we're going to do during this 50th year. Attorney Hardy and Minister Ford and I have been meeting Secretary General's office at the United Nations. Going to be some stuff coming that Dr. King, 50 years later, needs to be underscored in a Kingian way. All right, I need everybody, glad to see Beverly Austin in the house. Been with us a long time. Glad to see Bertha Lewis snuck in the back of the bus. Stand up, Bertha, give her a big hand. I see you, stand up. There's one of our pioneers in Harlem. Give him a big hand. Stand up. Don't wave your, oh, you can't stand up, don't wave your hand. Sam, that's Sam Roberts, right? Take them Cool Breeze shades off so I know who you are. Got on his Cool Breeze shades and his breakdown hat. But he's one of the pioneer, him and Hannibal Ahmed and John Best and them, they were the forerunners in Harlem and broke the wall down. I come out of Brooklyn, they used to call me short fat boy. Listen, it's what we do up here. Don't apologize now. You gotta apologize till I ain't short and fat no more. All right. Sam Roberts, always glad when he drop by. All right, let me raise our offering. I need everybody to do the best they can. I need about 10 people that can give $100 or more. Come quickly. I need about 10. Winston Gilchrist, $100. Sister Cynthia, $100. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Guardians, $100. The Walker family, $100. Whitey Walker Jr. All right, give me some 50s, 50, 50, 50, 50. Everybody, come on, whatever you have, $1, $5, whatever you have. Wait a minute. Got a new member, Kevin, don't run. Don't forget, on Saturday, March 3rd, 12 noon in Canaan, will be the memorial service in Harlem for Dr. Walker. Saturday, March 3rd. In Virginia, there'll be a memorial service on the 16th and a worship service on the 17th. This is at Guilford Baptist Church in Petersburg, Virginia. That's where Dr. Walker first pastored, and his home church. And then all of us, the national service, will be at Canaan on March the 3rd. When I call your name, come forward. Wyatt T. Walker Jr., Joyce Irving, Khadijah Triggs Gomez, Byron Shock. Give them a hand as they come. Give them a big hand. Certainly, let me welcome all of you to National Action Network. We are so proud that you joined us. We need you, we want you. They will give you a date of when we orientate new members, but we're here every Saturday, activities all through the week, and especially proud you joined on the day we remember our founding chairman, and you joined with his son. So never forget it. And God bless you. Face the audience and welcome them to the National Action Network. Give a big hand. Give a big hand. All right. Dominique, come here, man. Well, any of your huddle members here? Come on, all the huddle members. These are young folk. These lead our huddles. They meet on Monday nights. Y'all stand up, take a picture. Next to the picture with Wyatt Walker Jr. and the chairman. I want y'all to know the roots of the organization. Stand up here, stand up with the Wyatt. Yeah, right there. And y'all stand up there. So I want y'all to know the history of the organization. Know that you stood with the chairman's son on Wyatt T. Walker Day. They need to know the history. There's another generation coming, they in their teens. All right, let us all stand. Amen. Sing grace, I see the sound that saves. Take the hand of the person next to you. Repeat after me with African people. Robbed of our name, our language, our families, our self-respect. But we shall rise, never to fall again. Up ye mighty people. We can, if we will. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Shake the hand you're holding. Shake my hand before you leave.
No, he's only 28. He's got a way to go.
How long before you go to college?
I'm a junior in high school, so I got 2 years.